Today on the show, we have a unique profile, someone that we love. It's a Wednesday, and we usually discuss women that we love. We bring them up to celebrate them. She is a top Nigerian fashion icon and the CEO of Arabel Exclusive Islamic Materials. Welcome to the show, Alaja Shareefah Abiola Andu. Welcome, 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 Ma.
Thank you very much.
I don't think there's anyone that is in that space that hasn't heard about Arabel. Even I have heard about Arabel, and would like to talk about how you got into such a niche. Like, this is, you're not just gifting, you're not just doing, you have niched into the Islamic line, and you've grown over the years. So how did you get started? How did Arabel start?
Yeah, that's a very long story because Arabel started about 25 years ago. It will be 25 years,
wow.
as a matter of fact, in November.
Wow.
And you know, that time back then, there were not many shops selling Islamic materials, and there was a need for it. So, you know, when there's a dearth of something, you have to be able to provide a solution. And that was what I did. Have an Islamic shop, create a niche for myself, and then it has paid off. And a lot of people found it very, very useful. You're looking for a gift, you're looking for something to wear Islamically, you know where to always go and get it. And that is the story of Arabel in a nutshell.
So, you know, when you want to do business and you decide to carve a niche, for some people, they already have the niche in their head before they set out in the business. For others, they start and then stumble into creating something to differentiate themselves. How was it for you?
I knew I wanted to do an Arabel. I want an Islamic store. So it wasn't as if I stumbled into it, it was purposeful. Then, but how it grew just came out of the, I know I didn't plan that. I just thought I was just going to do something small, something small, quietly, just to satisfy myself and to my conscience. And then it became what it is today. You go everywhere, and it's actually, you know, it has actually opened doors. You go everywhere, and it's, oh, Arabel, we've heard of Arabel. It's been around for so long. So, yeah.
So I know that even though Arabel is associated, or a lot of people see it as just the gifting, the Islamic gifting line, you have done much more with it. It has, as you using your words, it has opened doors to so many other things. I hear you're into production of TV, movie. What are we doing? It is so many things.
Yes, you know, having a shop like Arabel, you know, you can do a lot, and there's so much to do in this our space. So I liken it to like a sunflower. You have the core, which is like Islam, and then you can do other things. Apart from buying and selling Islamic materials, clothing, books, and gift items, I've gone into publishing also, published Islamic books, and now production of a movie, Islamic one. So it's that to me is what drives my passion. To do something for
that space.
For that space.
Let me just even, like a follow-up question. Would you say that because you have pushed that, because you're pushing in that direction, would you say that it's a, how would we say, you know how we have been talking about the new Nollywood, like, is it like important for you to tell a story? What is it? Especially in the movie, the publishing and the movie space, are you trying to tell a story from your own perspective? I don't know if you understand. Like with Nollywood, we always say we want to tell our stories from our own point of view. We're tired of Hollywood telling our story. Is that what you're doing with your publishing and with your TV?
Precisely. Because you know, I watch movies a lot, and I like to see or to watch movies told from this side of the table. And for a long time, for example, I'm watching the movie and they're representing a woman saying a prayer, and then she has a scarf in a funny way, or
not properly tied.
Somebody not properly tied. So I've always thought there has to be somebody correcting that and saying it and showing it the way it should be showed. You know, it should be showed, and that is the driving force. Telling the story from somebody who knows, telling our story, maybe saying that. But then the film is not going to be, it's not like Muslim. It's a story for everybody, but from this perspective.
I love that.
And so you have a lot of modesty in it.
Yeah.
And it is very, very...
So I like the idea, you know. I know you had a background. I didn't want to first... I wanted us to talk about your business, you know, your person, building your business. How was that journey over the past 25 years? And what were the challenges, your most challenging period in building the business? Of course, we'll go back to digging into the movie your production line. But I want people that are watching right now as a Muslim, and people tend to think Muslim as we are very, very conservative, but you've built an empire that is well known. How did you do that? And what were the challenges that you would recall happened on the journey?
You see, when you have a passion, you have a dream, and you try to see the big picture. You don't, you know you're going to have a lot of challenges along the way. And there were a lot of challenges. Human capital, acceptance. Yeah. Acceptance was very okay, but then you have to also work very hard to build a brand. And to build a brand doesn't come so easy, and it's not cheap in this part of, anywhere in the world. To build a brand is not very cheap. So, that I would say finances, and then, you know, in any business, you have ups and downs. So we have, we've had a share of that. A lot of times where I'm thinking, am I actually doing the right thing? But then I still forge ahead. I get the encouragement, and then I just move on. So it's been a lot of laughter, some tears also along the line in the 25 years. But basically, it's a journey that has been very rewarding.
I love that. So what are some of the things you would tell somebody who's watching you now, who's thinking, I have this idea to carve a niche for myself in this business, and I would like to hear what she had to do, some of those things that you had to do, maybe daily, weekly, monthly, that you were consistent with, that kept you going even in the face of challenges to get you to this point?
Hard work. You have to be, you have to be passionate, number one. Because if the passion is not there, and it's about money, if it's money, after some time, if the money is not coming through, you'll give up. But if you know this is for the long haul, you have something you want to tell the world, you push on nonetheless. You don't let the disappointments hold you back. And for people who have ideas of what they want to do, don't overthink it. Just do it. Move. Yes, move. Because if you overthink it, you are going to get a lot of people telling you it cannot be done. And then by the time you have a lot of naysayers telling you this and that, you give up. But meanwhile, if you haven't started, you won't even know how it's going to end up. So just do it and don't overthink it.
Interesting. Mariam?
Interesting. I would like to dive
into the movie.
Yeah, but I'll wait for you to leave.
No, I think we can actually go into the movie.
Okay.
We can go into the movie because many people that follow Nyma know that Nyma featured in the movie. Our own
Akasha.
And my little friend, Eliza Etudai, also featured in the movie. So, for me, it's close to home. Yeah. It's our project.
Yes, sir.
So, why did you decide to do this movie? Mariam already asked the question, but I've seen a few of your interviews, read a few of your interviews online, and I know you've mentioned the importance of telling the narrative from your perspective, but how was that journey going into the movie industry? Even though you were a journalist, you have journalistic background, but this is totally different from being a journalist. This is being a producer. Yeah. How did that happen?
Sometime in, I think about 11 years ago, I wrote a comic. I know I like reading, so I wrote a comic called The Two Aishas. And sometime around 3 years ago, I thought, why don't you don't have any faith-based movies, and you don't have a Muslim faith-based movie in the cinema. I've never seen one. I go on Netflix, I go on those VOD platforms, and I'm checking, I'm searching, and I'm not seeing what I want to see. So I said, okay, there's a need for this. Why don't I can try? So I called a few people in, and I discussed the idea with them. And they thought, why don't you just bring the Two Aishas comic up to life? But that was for young children. So we now stepped it up, excuse me, stepped it up, and then made it something more embracing, more adult, and more interesting. And that was how it started. And now to get producers, I'm the executive producer. I'm not a producer per se. So I funded it. But then along the line, I had to put a lot of my inputs, my knowledge of Islam into it, because I couldn't get the right people that I wanted.
In that space.
Yeah, in that space. I was searching, I was looking.
This is an industry that's about to, you see, we'll take a
quick
break.
Open bay.
Yes, yes. So we've been interviewing, as a woman we love, Alaja Shareefah Abiola Andu. She's the CEO of Arabel and the producer of The Two Aisha, where our own Nyma featured in that movie. So it's the first of its kind Islamic faith-based movie, and we've been trying to uncover how that journey, what started and how it started and how it's been going. So yeah, I think at the point now I want to find out how is it going.
Okay, before we went on break, we said telling the story from our side of the so I'll start with mentioning my name from my side of the it's Shareefah, not Shareefah.
Oh,
not Shareefah, it's Shareefah.
Shareefah.
Yeah, spelled differently, but Shareefah. So now, how did it?
How is it going?
How is it going? Interesting. The movie industry, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The Two Aishas.
The Two Aishas.
How would you say people are receiving it so far? So you started because you had written a comic, remember? You were telling us. And then and you've now brought it to life. What would you say, has been how people are receiving it so far?
Yeah, it's very, it's like something that people have been thirsty for. So now you have it, everybody is happy to have it. So that gives me a lot of satisfaction. I was at the cinema, in one of the cinemas, to watch actually on Sunday, and then some people came in, a mother, grandmother, and their 3 little children.
Okay.
And they came in to watch, and I asked, how did you get to know about the movie? They said from a report on a TV station, and they came in to watch. And interestingly, they're not Muslims, they know Yorubas. Wow. But they enjoyed it.
I love that.
And the grandmother said, if all our leaders watch this, things will change.
There's a strong lesson.
So there are lots of lessons to learn from the movie. And that is you want to watch a movie, you just don't want to laugh. You want to laugh, you want to be entertained, but then you want to take a lot from the movie. And this is what you get from this particular kind of movie. For this particular movie, you get a lot out of it, and then you have a lot of conversation points. Yesterday, I went to a salon, and then I met 2 people who have watched the film, and we stood for about 4 minutes discussing about the film. And they were like, oh, at that point, this should happen, that should happen, discussing. So it is actually conversational. And that made me happy that actually something good has come out of this.
Yes, so let's talk a bit about the process. I'm into movie making myself, and sometimes you want to tell a story, but there's not enough research to give you the right angle to the story or right context to the story. Now, you having to add your own inputs as an executive producer, you're not even supposed to do anything, just drop your money and move with it, right? But you had to, state out something so that they get it right. And I know Muslims, the ones that I know, at least Akashat is here with us, if you have to do something and you have to go by the tenets of Islam, you must do it exactly how it is. How was it working with the actors to make sure that they interpreted exactly how you wanted it? Getting the cast, we started from making sure that there are people, they're majorly Muslims, so they know the religion, and they know what boundaries we can cross and what boundaries we cannot cross. So it was very easy, and in that aspect. And in as much as we wanted to entertain people and make it interesting and fun, we knew we could not expose our bodies. We could not be over emotional
with hugs and kisses.
Very physical.
It has to be physical. It has to be. So we put all those into consideration, and it was well received. We had people who are not Muslims on the, on set, and the way we educated, we took the people, those few people, through the lessons was so easy. So you will not even know the non-Muslims, and that is the beauty of acting. So you have a lot of them, and so it was not so difficult getting everybody to do what they're supposed to do, because I co-wrote the story.
Yeah.
It was my story. Then I got a scriptwriter to do it. I'm not in that. Yes, so I got a scriptwriter to write it. So a lot of my inputs are in there. So that made it a lot easier. If I'm just dropping the money and I'm going, yes, I'm going. It will be a difficult. It might be a different thing
part
entirely.
Of the interpretation of your work.
Yes,
which is good. So I just wanted to say what is not necessarily a question. So I remember when I was in university, there was this gospel artist that released an album, Mary Mary, and their album blew. Like everybody was singing and dancing to it. It did not matter if you were Christian or Muslim. Yeah. And I find that many times with Christian faith-based movies, everybody watches it and we all learn the lessons. And I'm saying that this is what your movie, The Two Aishas, would do. So you're now opening up our minds. A lot of us, when we don't know something, we don't know how to respond to it, or we have so many myths and misinformation. But what you're doing, what I'm seeing you do, is that you're now making it almost mainstream. So anybody can look into it and say, oh, okay, is that why they think this way, and why? And then you have better respect for it.
Exactly.
And then, better tolerance. So that's what I see.
And that is actually what it's supposed to be. Right. For Muslims to appreciate what they have, and for non-Muslims to also see, okay, and to understand that this is what this religion preaches, or this is what those people are. Yeah. And then they appreciate each other, and then we live in peace. Because the most important thing is for us to be able to come together, to understand, and to see how we can work together.
Okay, so let me, when we're, obviously you're someone that sees, you know how to spot opportunities. You saw that with Arabel. There was a need for Islamic materials. People want to get gifts that are Islamic. People want to get outfit, anything Islamic. You know that this is, you created a business out of it. Now you saw the opportunity within the movie industry, and then you created a movie. But when you were talking, I saw a challenge that could also become another opportunity. Educating people, educating the team, because you mentioned watching movies that depicted Islamic characters that did not conform with true Islamic tenets. So is it that we could get into another space where we are educating, this is not Islam, this is Islam. If you want to do it properly or something. Are you going to also maybe create a platform for trainings and all of that?
Yeah, that is interesting. I never thought of that.
He's a coach. Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting one. Yeah. And that could be a huge market also. And then consultancy. In the movie industry.
That's what I see.
People who are going to be there to tell people this is how it should be done. And then it doesn't have to be like for a huge amount of money, but then just get it right. And there are a lot of people, a lot of movies that need such services. And then the training also. I'm going to take that.
You see?
Yes. So where would you categorize The Two Aishas? Would you just put them under drama? Because some of us have not really seen the movie. I just saw my friend there and I was excited. Nyma featured on the big screen. So would you say drama? Would you say a comedy drama? Would you say, where would you put The Two Aishas?
It's family drama, because it's been rated PG. So the whole family can go. Children can go, because, you have, like, I have a young friend in the movie. And so, it's for everybody. There's some lessons for children also to learn from it, and for adults as well. So it's actually family drama.
Interesting. So you featured our own. You featured Nyma Akashat Zibiri in this movie. So why did you find her suitable? How would you rate her cameo appearance? And what would you say concerning her role in the movie? Look at her on screen.
So that we'll meet her.
Very professional.
Good.
Because I've seen, you know, I see her on set, and she's always so forthcoming. She doesn't hide anything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, getting her on, and I've seen her in a movie before.
Yes, she's been in another one.
So I knew I had to have her.
Yeah.
So when I called her, she was very receptive, and she liked the idea. And she came, and she was very professional. She did what she had to do. And she didn't give us any diva problem.
She did not embarrass the family outside.
Yeah, she did not. We are very proud.
She did not embarrass the family outside.
You made us proud. Well done.
Proud.
Well done.
So, on like,
what's more for
yes.
the production, the Muslimhood? Let's start using that. Is a name now.
So
Muslim food.
Yeah, Muslim
Yes.
food. Yeah. What's more? What's in line? What other projects do you have in that line for Muslimhood?
And let me just add to that because it's similar. Okay. And are you looking forward to collaborations?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot of collaboration. And then, you know, this particular one, people ask me, why do you have Kannywood actors in the movie? I told them it's deliberate because we wanted to bridge the gap, so that we have a whole, you know, it will be holistic, cut across the whole north and south. Yes, so that is one thing we're working on, to have that kind of collaboration, and the response and the encouragement has been so massive. So we know that we have to do more of this. So we should be looking forward to having this more engagement, and then knowing that this is going to happen.
Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed you.
Thank you.
Alaja Shareefah.
Thank you.
Alaja Shareefah Abiola Andu. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for putting together this movie that shows representation of Islam, you know, and yet entertaining and educational. So you can go watch it in the cinemas. We've learned a lot from you about sporting opportunities and pioneering new industries. Wow. Amazing. Well done, ma.
Well done.